Good morning. Welcome to another Moment in Time with Taylor. It's the Fem Yoga Morning Show. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time and your interest. And let me know, give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. What? How did you get here first? Hello, who? I see you have not changed your name yet. Okay, let me get egg drop going here. How are you today, Who to F? I am great. I'm good too, actually. Got up early today, went to bed early last night, feeling pretty good. Excited to read this book. I was reading it this morning a little bit before class. So is that Nikki? Good morning, Nikki. Hello, Tracy. Shiny hippie. Everybody follow everybody. Y'all are awesome. Oh, well, that's what we're going to be talking about today too, Who? Yoga for us today? Yes, but just a little. We're going to do a little yoga and a little bit of reading. So, depending on what you feel like, I have really tight calves today, so I was kind of going to focus on that area, and if anyone has any other requests while I'm paying attention, now's your chance. Good morning, Big Worm. I've seen you before. How are you today? Davis316, welcome to the Fem Yoga Morning Show. Let's do some yoga. I'm just waiting to see if anyone was going to come out of their shell. All right. Good morning. Hey, Panda. No, I was really going to see if anyone had your hamstrings. Okay, mine too. My hamstrings are always kind of tight. So let's just work on some leg stuff, and then we'll do our forearm stand challenge, and we'll read this book a little bit. And the chapter that I stopped at that I'm excited to talk about is talking about education and compulsory education, where you're required by law to go to school. For the sake of Mother Earth, maybe we should explore. Okay, I will block you if you troll. Morning love bug. Okay. Fine? Oh, you're fine? Oh, good. I am also fine. I am really good. Do I believe in God? I'm not sure. Is your picture? Okay, no. All right. Hi, Jerkface. Hi, Chris. Do I believe in God? I would say I don't believe in organized religion's perception of God. How's that? All right. Oh, let's sit up nice and tall. Just take a moment to set our intention for our yoga practice today. Tesla? Did you have a name, Nikolai Tesla? I met someone else on here who said they were Tesla. Good morning. Sorry, I was missing comments for a second there. Yes, jerk face. Your knees are too bad to sit like that. Davis, I'm so glad that you said that. Thank you for saying that. Okay. You got problems? I got solutions. Here we go. Something about that size, see how it feels, see if that's enough. You might want to just sit in a chair. It's weird in this whole house. I don't have like a normal level chair. I don't know if there's a higher power. I guess. I don't know. But now I'm going to try to focus on the knees. But if you stay tuned, in a little while we're going to be reading a book and talking about all sorts of interesting topics. Yes, engage with each other about that. That's good. You like my pants? Awesome. Thank you. They're really soft and I love them. So this is a bolster pillow. So you might be able to get a little cushion like this. You might even have like a couple blankets you stack up or towels or something. We're not going to be doing trivia, but hello, Mike, Mr. Hunt. All right, so you can sit in a chair. What I was going to say is I have no normal height chairs in this whole house. I have like bar stool level chairs and then yoga bolsters basically. And I'm really short. So you want to be able to have your feet on the ground if you need to. So make sure that if you're in a chair, that's just as good. The idea here is that I'm going to be having, when I cross my legs, now my hips are higher than my knees. So you want enough height that your hips actually come higher than your knees. So you might need more than this. If you have, this might be close to a chair, I'm not sure. These things literally just attract like hair and fuzz and everything, so don't mind the random fuzzies. Put this one on the bottom. Might be kind of close to a chair, like a little kid chair. Alright, now this is probably too much for me, but I'm trying to give you an idea here. There we go. How's that? So when you cross your legs, if you have any other supports that you can put under your knees, you can kind of like wedge them in there, get creative. These things that I'm using really aren't expensive. You can just use a normal chair, but these blocks are really cheap. They're just called yoga blocks, and you can find them pretty much anywhere. I think these are 3-inch blocks. I think they come in like 3 or 4-inch, pretty much. So something like that might help you. If you're still with me, Davis, I'm going to check with the comments now, see how everyone's doing. And then we'll work on our lower body. Don't worry, Tracy, I won't forget you. A general Q&A. Perhaps. Probably not. Because I'm going to be reading that book. We're going to be talking about that. Hey, Taylor. You didn't see my notification, Dee? That makes me sad. Western chair position. Yay, Davis. Okay. On a hotsie? What's a hotsie? H-O-T-S-E? What is that? Yesterday, Felicia taught me a word for stomach, or belly, which is in Swedish, which is Wally. W-A-L-L-E. Wally. Okay. I'm not going to tell you the whole story behind that. It's too much. All right, wait. We were setting our intention. Tracy, I'm with you again. Let's do this. So sit however's comfortable for you. You might be sitting in a chair. You might be sitting on the floor. You might be sitting on a blanket. Whatever feels good for you. Your legs might be out straight. Just get comfortable. Let's take 5 deep breaths together. No matter where you are, what you're doing, take 5 deep breaths if you can. Maybe even closing the eyes and feeling into your body. See if you can slow your breath down, making it quieter, connecting with your body. Two more long, slow, deep breaths. Fill the whole body with breath and get rid of any stale air out of your lungs. Last breath. So you might want to bring your hands together at your heart center, bowing your chin towards your chest if that's comfortable for you. And connect with your intention, the reason you do your yoga practice. And when you feel complete with that, you can bring your head back center, relaxing the arms. I'm going to quickly grab a sip of water. I encourage you to do the same anytime you feel a little dry. It's my drinking problem, as you guys say. Just water, to clarify. Is it dark in here today? Let me put some lights on here. I don't know if that's any better, but that's about as good as I can do. And I'm going to check in with comments here. Let's come to hands and knees. And I just want to say thank you so much for the hearts, you guys. Yesterday, Cyanide set a record. She sent me 18,000 hearts in one broadcast. All right, I'm going to block all of you. I'm going to block. Who has privileges in here? Can you guys block for me? We don't have enough time for me to come over there. You have the same mat and blocks? I don't know if I believe you, but I don't know what a hotsie is. That's a movie? What's a movie? Wall-E? Wall-E is a movie, that's true. Hey, Anthony, Wellness Warriors. I thought it was only women in the Wellness Warriors. But yes, we should unite on wellness. Oh my gosh, I want to block so many people. You feel the keys of your keyboard? Good. Yeah, D, just block them. Tony, that's a good question. If you're still with me, Tony, I don't know if you were here when I was setting up to sit up on a higher level. Depending on how you feel with your legs crossed, you really want to just build up your seated position first. You want to sit up higher, make sure your hips are higher than your knees, because your hips might not be open enough for your knees to just rest on the ground yet. And that's totally normal, all right? I've been practicing for about 4 years. And everyone's body is different. You know, I have maybe tightness somewhere where you're really flexible. So we always have to watch out for being too flexible, too. We don't want to hurt ourselves or hurt our joints. So, you know, we all have this vision of what we think is correct, and we need to try to let that go and focus on our body and what actually feels good for us. If you were here in the beginning, you know, Tracy, one of my regular viewers here, one of my friends on here, I watch her scopes as well. She came in and we were chatting about, you know, what does our body feel like today? You know, our legs. We want to work on calves and hamstrings. So that's what we're going to work on. And it's going to be different every day. Crystal Gray Yoga said something so beautiful the other day. She said, you come to your mat every day with a new body. And I think that's just so true. So true. Hi, Jen. Hello. I want to call you Rosie. Okay, everyone just block everyone. Okay. Thank you, Dee. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now let's work on our legs a little bit. So if you missed the beginning, I definitely recommend watching the replay. I only have a limited amount of time. I don't want to do repeats, but just try to get a nice, comfortable seat. And that's the first step in yoga, just taking deep breaths and being aware of your body. That would be the best first step. Yes, everyone block everyone. Pretty much. All right, so let's come into our staff position with our legs out straight in front of us. I know you're at work, Jen. I'm sorry. Maybe you can sit on the floor. If not, you can catch the replay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hearts and comments. Love you. So hands next to the hips. Roll your shoulders back and down. Lift your head up out of your neck and shoulders. Keep those shoulders hugging down and back. And try to squeeze. Imagine that you're squeezing a tennis ball between your shoulder blades. Take one more deep breath here. Now, if this isn't comfortable for you, I'll take a moment in this pose also, because I had a client yesterday who wasn't comfortable in this position. So there's some different options. You can sit up on a blanket. You know, I'm just going to use one of the bolsters as an example in the interest of time, but you can use something smaller than this. And you want to kind of sit on the edge of it so that your pelvis tilts forward. So your natural lumbar curve in your low back is supported and kind of almost enhanced, but not too much. You don't want to be in a huge back bend, just a little bit of a lumbar curve there with the toes flexed actively towards your face. When we flex the muscles of the tops of the legs, it helps the backs of the legs, the calves and the hamstrings to release. Okay, so find that. And if that doesn't work for you, having something under your tush, you can also put something under your knees. You could just use a blanket. Just in the interest of time, again, I'm just going to use whatever's here. But you could, this is a little bit much, but you could put something here. Your knees can be pretty bent. And that way we keep the stretch into the muscle belly of the hamstrings and the calves, as opposed to the backs of the knees, where a lot of people feel it. We're not trying to stretch out the ligaments of the knee and make our knees all unstable. We're just trying to lengthen the muscles so that we don't get, you know, that gripping, tension, tightness, and we keep our range of motion. Makes us more resilient, prevents injury, those types of things. Even the guys in the NFL do yoga. Deep breath in. As you exhale, if you feel comfortable, you're going to bring your heart forward. I'm only going to remove these because it's not comfortable for me, but do what's good for your body. So any kind of supports you need. Heart comes forward first. Pull that heart forward, forward, forward. Maybe bring the arms forward. Try to keep that heart pulling forward through your shoulders and chest. Try not to get a round spine. Pull your heart. Okay, one more breath like this. And then another deep breath in. And on this exhale, let it go. You can let yourself round, let your head be heavy. If this is uncomfortable for your neck, you can do something with your breath here. On your inhale, you tilt your chin up. And on an exhale, let your head go again. Inhale, tilt the chin up. Exhale, let it go. Five more deep breaths here if you can. And then we'll come back up to a nice tall spine. If you want to bring the soles of the feet together, the bottoms of the feet. Check in with comments here. Not to stretch the ligaments, yes. If it was good with graphics, doing yoga on a horse, on an airplane, that sounds pretty dope. Okay, good. We're good. No more trolling. Awesome. I like it. Periscope demonstration. Oh, it was good. It was good, Chris. It went pretty good. I stayed right within my time. I had 5 to 7 minutes to go. Oh, and while we're sitting here, if you feel uncomfortable, you might want to support your knees here, just like we were doing earlier with our legs crossed. So support your knees as much as you need to. But yeah, it was just like a 3-minute scope, I think. We got like 67 views, I think, or 62, something like that live. So people were, it got the point across. Tracy was there. Nikki Sparkles was there. Mitch was there. Who else was there? I think I'm forgetting at least one other person that's pretty regular, but it was a good time. It worked well, and it got my point across, and I stayed within my 5 to 7 allotted minutes. I think I did like 5 minutes and some odd seconds, so I was happy with it. Did I invite you to a group? Yeah, I have all my all the people I follow that follow me back are all in a group now called Taylor's Mutuals. Oh my gosh, my whole bottom of my screen is filled with followers. I love you. Or people I follow, I mean. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. All right. A weird taxi cab scope. Was it Ifran? I like Ifran. I think he's quite amusing. All right. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, pull your heart forward just like we did in the last pose. And this is a pose for my body that's always been very easy for me. So don't compare yourself to what my body looks like in this pose. Just come forward just like you did with the last one. Pull yourself forward about 2 or 3 breaths with just the heart coming forward. Yes, he lives on the edge. Were you in there, Chris, for that? How do you know that? Okay. This is the Matrix. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone that Chris just said that. Okay. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let your head round. Let yourself just carry yourself deeper into the pose, okay? Just for a second. That is so funny. Okay. Krim was in there. Alicia, Alabama. I haven't seen her in a while. She's cool. Deep breaths here. We'll take 3 more deep breaths in our bound angle pose. And then we'll come back up. No blocking right now. Merhaba, is that how you say that, I think? I think it just means like greetings, right? I'm not sure. I'm trying to say it right. I'm trying to be nice. Alright, I'm going to roll my ankles. Can you guys see me? A few times in both directions. Yeah, peri-yoga. Exactly. Alright. And you can bounce bounce your knees a little bit here. And maybe windshield wiper your legs and feet. Oh yeah, that feels good on my hip. Let's do this for 3 breaths. That actually felt really good. Hopefully it felt good for you too. Now let's come out to hands and knees. We'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow here when you're ready at your own pace. Going with your own breath, inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. One more round. Inhale and exhale. And then come back to tabletop. Let's just do some peddlers, which is my word for stepping one leg back at a time and pressing out through your heel. Keep your hands strong and engaged. Keep your elbows soft and your shoulders hugging down and back into their sockets. Stretching into the calves. This feels so good. Just a couple more like this. Good. Come back center, and then we'll curl the toes under. You know who to F? My husband says the same thing. He says he feels too feminine when he does some of the poses, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's like to feel like a guy, so I guess you'd have to ask a guy that does yoga. Are there any guys that do yoga in the room? I imagine they would just say that it doesn't feel too feminine. When yoga was created, it was only men that could do it. You can come back down onto hands and knees when you're ready. And we're going to get ready for our forearm stand. Well, the chances are good that you wouldn't even have really as much range of motion as me anyway in your hips, because women have more movement in their hips and pelvis, so it might look different on your body. Yeah, Bravo. Hey, Bravo. I watched your broadcast, a couple of your broadcasts. Yeah, Bravo does yoga. Casper does yoga. Casper, do you feel too feminine when you do it? Hey, Benzlis. Pair yoga class minus equipment. Minus equipment? Wait. Yoga gear and device with periscope. Teacher Taylor Fem Yoga Tea. Every morning. Yes. Cool beans. I'm comfortable with my body. Yeah. Yeah. I figured that's what they would say, is that, no, it's not. Doesn't feel feminine, or too feminine maybe, I don't know. But yeah, yoga was invented by men, so all the movements were, they're for your spine. It doesn't really, it benefits both sexes. Oh, we got the chair in the shot. Let's move forward a bit. So many comments? Oh no, really? I don't feel like a lot are coming in right now, are they? Yes, Casper, I love it. I love it. Sorry, is that too loud? I'm like really close to the camera now. Sorry. I get used to being far away from it, and then I just start yelling. Hope you all still love me. I love you. I don't know. Who to F? I feel like I really want to block you. But you almost won trivia the other day, and I just don't know. I just don't know about you. Oh. We'll see. Let's just do some forearm stand, huh? Loud is better than soft. Yeah, you don't want to be too quiet. It's a good, and if you feel like you're too quiet on your scopes, try not to be like leaning because or like laying down. When you're laying down and doing scope, it can be really hard to hear you. You want to be either sitting up or standing up so you can project. And work on your breathing practices, and that will help you project too. I don't know if I'm in any more of a block mood than I normally am. The other day, yoga might be good as part of the national school curriculum. Yeah, actually, they're teaching yoga in schools a lot more now. So I'll tell one quick story because I thought it was funny. These guys the other day, I went into their scope and they saw my name and I said, I always come into your scopes, you never come into mine. And so they went in and they were skipping ahead to this one part where I was just blocking everyone because there was just it was a lot of people in, there were a lot of people saying things. So they were saying inappropriate stuff. I was only blocking people who were being rude or inappropriate. And these guys, they were watching it on their scope, Scopeception, and they were like, block party! Freaking out, and I just thought it was so funny. Scope longer at 8,000. Oh yeah, I'm going to scope a lot longer. As long as this doesn't crash, I'm going to be reading the book right after this, which reminds me we should get to it. Let's do this. I'm not teaching this right now, okay? I've taught it the past 12 days, so if you want to catch the replays, go do that. That's really cool. I bet there's places in America that do that too. I think that should be a better practice. It helps me wake up in the morning, that's for sure. All right. Do my little foot cleaning dance. Oh. How can I still not do this? All right. Let me stretch my arm because I'm still feeling that weird thing in my arm muscles that I've had going on the past 2 days. Not exactly sure what it is. It's not painful, but it definitely feels weird. So this is me honoring my body like I tell you all to do. Make sure everything's feeling good. Not too weird. Like I say, if it causes pain or discomfort, it's kind of like it's not really uncomfortable, but it's weird. It's weird. Triceps? I don't know. I think it's maybe. It's right where, I feel like it's right at the junction of bicep, tricep, and deltoid. It's something connecting or something. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, we'll do some eagle arms. I'll just take 3 deep breaths on both sides. And then we'll try it again 1 or 2 more times. We'll see how the second time goes and then judge from there. I feel like it's a matter of core strength that I need to improve. So maybe tomorrow we'll do a core strengthener first and then do this. Then we'll do the forearm stand challenge. Yeah, it's the sorority. Bye, Tridel. Yeah, I know, but I was up for an hour and a half before I started broadcasting, moving around and getting ready, knowing what was coming. So I did shoulder rolls and I made sure I bared weight on my arms. We did our cat-cow, we did our downward facing dog, and I don't know. Okay, what was the other one I was going to do? Oh, we'll do cow face arms. Let me do this behind so you can see what the arms look like behind. Again, I'm not really teaching these right now because we want to read our book, at least I do. But we also don't ever want to rush our yoga practice, honoring our bodies. That felt good. The wrong arm though. like fish oil is supposed to help with that for lung problems. I don't have time right this second, unfortunately, but check out my website and you can get a private session with me. Is it bad if you have joints that crack all the time? I've definitely heard that, there's beliefs in Ayurveda that indicates an imbalance somewhere in the body, and I would tend to agree that that's probably not a sign of great health or optimal health. I crack sometimes. I also feel like people with my type of frame, the more thin-framed, structured people, tend to crack more, it seems like. So I don't know if it's a lack. That's why I would think it's maybe a lack of fat, like a lack of healthy fat or omegas in our body, in our joints. I could be way off. If they don't hurt. Yeah, some cracking is definitely normal. I would the occasional crack I think is totally normal. Broken up cartilage, is that true, Casper? Hello, I'm good. Russian friend, Privyet. You've had some pain. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the knees especially tend to be a sensitive area. You crack your back and neck all the time. It gets tight if you don't. Hello. You're very noisy in the morning. That's funny. Yeah, the morning especially. And that's it's from sleeping all night. But I wonder, let's all eat more fish. We'll do a 30-day fish oil challenge and see if we get less cracking. That could be fun. Maybe we'll do, I'm already going to do a meditation one next, I think. So we'll have to figure it out. Less talking, more yogaing. Interesting. Do you tend to be bow-legged or knock-kneed, Chris, when you walk or stand? You get cracking in your shoulders? I do too, Casper. My shoulders are probably the thing that cracks the most on me. Yeah. If you're because your scapula and your humerus. Okay, let's talk. And your clavicle. I just feel like things are rubbing. My hair is tickling my nose. Okay. Decent one, and there was nothing weird with my arm, so maybe it was a lack of proper opening and stretching before I did it, so take the lesson. Don't do that. It didn't hurt, but more a pop than a crack. Okay. Semantics. You don't think you're bow-legged or knock-kneed? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I do this, I don't know if it would do it now, no, but sometimes my clavicle cracks open when you kind of swing your chest open, which is, I don't know if the cracking is good, but I think it is good to make sure your chest is nice and open. Ooh, it smells good out there. It smells like spring. It's cold, but it smells good. All right. My knee just cracked. Okay. All right. What do you mean you fell off the list? Oh, it stopped counting? Periscope? No! Oh my gosh, is there any way for me to tell? No, Tracy, no, different one. No, I'm not Russian. I don't know how to say it yet. Oh, Mom! Are you still here? Is my mom in here right now? I'm gonna come see. Hang on. Okay. I think I'm caught up on comments. Yay! It was 90 degrees here yesterday. Yeah, rub it in a little. Why don't you? Look, you guys, it's my mom. Look, there, I see her. My mom is here. This is good. All right, this forearm stands for you, Mom. Get ready for it. It's happening. It's going to be the best one yet. Let me take a sip of water. Everyone hydrate. I'm weird? Why am I weird? She comes in and calls me weird. Okay, I'm walking away. SNL. It is super cool. You miss me? When's the last time I saw you? I miss you too. Christmas lights? Oh, I didn't see her comment about that. Yeah, these are Mr. Perfects. Too long? Oh no, those are year-round. Those are like all the time night lights. Okay, back to forearm stand. This is for you, Mom. You're going to be doing this in no time. Are you coming to yoga class tonight? Yeah! Mom, you're good luck. Whew. You are good luck. That was a good one. I held that one longer than usual. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Bravo. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mom. I have a mosquito bite. All right, we're done. Let's read a book. What time is it? Good. We have 24 minutes to read this book. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to move you guys down here. I'm going to block the troll. Down here. And get ready to read a book. All right. Stand by. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, got the book. Yoga mat. I fold it up a few times, makes it extra squishy. Good stuff. Wait, I forgot egg drop. Okay, we're going to read this book again. Theodore and Woodrow, How Two American Presidents Destroyed Constitutional Freedom. 24 minutes to pump 5,000 hearts. Oh yeah, that is easy actually. Casper, Sine's going to be upset. I'm happy though. That's all that matters, right? When she's not here anyway. Bedtime stories for nightmares. Yeah, probably. That's probably a good description of this. All right. Prime Minister is trying something unexpectedly. I will check it out, but don't check it out right now because we're going to talk about re-education camps. Let me read the last. This is too bright. I feel like it's too bright. Oh, sorry guys. A little better? That seems better. Okay. So, this book is by Judge Andrew Napolitano. We started reading it yesterday, and I'm going to read the last paragraph of the chapter right before this, and then we'll get into the chapter I wanted to read. And I'm just going to read through. I'll be checking comments between paragraphs. Let me know what y'all think. So, from banks to schools, the progressives reworked society to their image. And this is back the actual Progressive Party in 1912. If they could control money, how about young minds? We move next to the methods and motives behind compulsory state education. Chapter 2, Re-Education Camps, Compulsory Education. And here's a quote from Professor Richard M. Ebling. The parent is viewed as a backward and harmful influence in the formative years of the child's upbringing, an influence that must be corrected for and replaced by the, quote, enlightened professional teacher who has been trained, appointed, and funded by the state. The public school, therefore, is a re-education camp in which the child is to be remade in the proper politically correct image. Okay, have a good day, Mom. With dubious reasons, which is unnecessary as the people already joined the EU change. Voted already for the EU change. Bye, love you. That is kind of true, though. What I said? Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? I never really thought of it that way. I was like, whoa, I gotta wait and read this on Periscope. Separation of the church and the state. It says separation of the Catholic Church and the progressive state. Good morning, Jay. How are you? Okay, Jen, well, thank you for being here. Thanks for doing some yoga with us. Have a good day at work, and hopefully that helps you to feel happy today and get a little more energy. I don't know if you were able to do anything, but I hope so. Thanks for being here. I'm great. I'm doing good. I love reading. Do squats? No, thank you. Okay, moving on. Hi, Dan. Good morning. We're reading a book. One of his biggest mistakes, I didn't read the first paragraph. Okay. Alfred Roncovieri, good morning, was a French-Italian Catholic who was elected superintendent of schools in San Francisco in 1906. After more than a decade of progressive politics and anti-Catholic and anti-immigrant hostilities in San Francisco, he lost his job. One of his biggest mistakes was holding the view that public schools were not the appropriate place to teach children about sex and morality. Because he thought these subjects should be left to the family or the church to teach, and because he was a European Catholic, Roncovieri was pushed out of his position by local progressives. They launched a campaign to get him fired and to change the system to make it more responsive to the progressive agenda. It was during this time that the San Francisco school system went from locally elected superintendents to an appointment system that would leave the educational bureaucracy in charge of appointing a more powerful superintendent. Murray N. Rothbard, a seminal libertarian thinker, noted that, quote, "The removal of the Board of Education and school superintendent from direct and periodic control by the electorate had effectively deprived parents of any significant control over the educational policies of public schools. In addition to becoming a more powerful position, the superintendent could now be appointed by San Francisco's political and educational elites instead of elected by voters, taking away any control that parents had over their children's education." And I don't want to get into this, but it kind of is like reminiscent of superdelegates in elections. Thank you, Boss Ka, for inviting your followers. I love it. All right. I hope you like this. So, the San Francisco case is a good example of the push for compulsory education in the progressive era. Hi. In the midst of intense religious and ethnic conflict, San Francisco progressives were using public schools as a way to Americanize and homogenize immigrant children. As Theodore Roosevelt stated in a speech in Boston, Massachusetts in 1893, before I read the quote, I just want to point out, as far as I can tell, Theodore Roosevelt was a white supremacist, right? And he was like very strong nationalist. He didn't want Italians. He didn't want Irish people. He didn't want, I mean, even that's not even white supremacy. What is that? It's like American, like nationalism, but extremism, extreme nationalism. What do you call that? Someone give me a good vocab word to look up. I won't look it up now, though. Okay. Here's the quote from Theodore Roosevelt in 1893. He definitely, he was like pro-gay marriage and pro-women's right to vote, but he was anti-black people being involved in the Progressive Party. Irish, Italian. Yep. Douchebagism. I'm going to have to look that one up. All right, here's what he said, quote, "Judgmental pricks. Tracy and Chris, you guys think alike." All right. I can't even read it. Quote, "In our public schools, the lessons should be conducted in no language but in English. Neither in German, French, Spanish, or any other." Oh, so he was like a European, or not European, English. He was like an English, English nationalist? Ish? Okay. All right. Neither in German, French, Spanish, or any other, exactly as the children should be taught to speak nationalist. Should be taught to speak United States and to think United States and to be United States. Hello, Anthony. Welcome. The demise of the career of Superintendent Roncovieri was analogous to the push. Yeah, today's Spanish class will be taught in English only. America. Wellness warriors, are y'all ready to rumble? I'm ready to rumble. I'm going to read this book. It was analogous to the push for compulsory education during this time period, which was rooted in anti-immigrant sentiments and the progressive political agenda. Through compulsory education in state-owned schools, progressives gave the state a firm hold on the development of the child. I'm ready to read. Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson were among the progressives advocating for compulsory education, hardly a federal issue, in parentheses. Oh, are we skipping? Are we skipping? Sorry, guys. Hopefully, Casper, you're able to beat the goal even if we crash. So what I did want to point out too, just quickly, is that although Roosevelt and Wilson were both progressives, Roosevelt, good signal. All right, cool. Yeah, body workout and intellectual workout. I love it. I love it. So Roosevelt was originally the leader of the Republican Party, and then he created a third party called the Progressive Party, and actually was the most successful third-party candidate in the history of America. Hey, Chelsea! Hello, girl. How are you? We're talking about American history, which I never used to be interested in. Maybe I'm getting old, but now I'm interested in it. And Woodrow Wilson was actually a Democrat, so it's kind of interesting. They were very similar. They were similar in a lot of ways in the way they thought. And what I didn't realize was that Theodore Roosevelt got shot in the chest and then gave like an hour-and-a-half long speech right after, before seeking medical attention. You thought Lincoln was a successful third-party candidate. Didn't he run under Republican, though? I thought he was a Republican. Hi. Whoa. Hey, JJ. Tough men. Yeah, that guy was super tough. Who got shot? Roosevelt. I was never political until the current ugly mess. Interesting. I wonder if that had anything to do with my interest at all. Republicans were the third party then. Oh, you mean like Federalist and then... Wasn't it? Wait. Was it? During Abe times, the Dems were the slave owners. Yeah, I know. Every member of the KKK was a Democrat, I believe. Or every owner of a slave was a Democrat. Oh, Teddy. The Whigs. The Whigs was a third party, right? Is that what he ran as? I'm totally out of the loop on this, aren't I? How am I today? I'm excellent. How are you, JJ? So what's interesting is that I just read this morning and I already forgot. So I'm glad that Chris is here to tell me. And Casper. Or maybe you're just getting older. How old are you, Casper? I'm 26. Have you heard his speech about the man in the arena? The man in the arena. No, I haven't. No. Now, both Republicans and Democrats are bought by multinational corporations. They were then, too. J.P. Morgan was, all up in the 1912 election. Republican was third party he ran as. That's really interesting. I'll have to look it up and get my knowledge better so I can understand it and actually be able to partake in the conversation here. So where are we here? We're talking about what Roosevelt said. Right? Did I finish it? Yeah, no. I already finished that. What are we talking about? I'm just going to start reading this next paragraph. I don't know if I missed something. Through compulsory education in state-owned schools, progressives gave the state a firm hold on the development of the child. Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow... No, I read this. Blah, blah, blah. Hardly a federal issue. Sorry. They were among the progressives advocating for compulsory education because they wanted to ensure that every generation of Americans would be brainwashed at an early age. As Roosevelt opined in 1893, the public schools are the nurseries from which spring the future masters of the Commonwealth. We have a right to demand that every man, native-born or foreign-born, shall, in American public life, act merely as an American. Wilson believed that it was the government's job to educate children and that, quote, the chief object of education is discipline. It turns out that compulsory education, a feat accomplished during the Progressive era, was also a compulsory indoctrination into progressive thought and the 20th century Protestantism. Arthur Calhoun stated in 1919, quote, hi, Eddie, the fondest wish of utopian writers was coming true. The child was passing from its family into the custody of community experts. The power to shape children's futures. Yeah, people have always wanted to brainwash people. Hello, P1. The power to shape children's futures was taken from their parents and put into the hands of the government. Starting in this era, as John Swett, the founder of public education in California, it's the British way, stated, school children belonged not to the parents, but to the state, to society, to the country. People have been brainwashed since caveman times. Those jerks. Parents brainwash their kids. What's the difference? Yeah, exactly. Define brainwash. Am I brainwashing you guys right now? My cat thinks I am. He said meow. Maybe meow means no, though. Now they'd rather just skip the education and go straight to the brainwashing. Brainwashing means not being free. Right, compulsory. Compulsory means that it's legally required. That you'll, like, if you would be, I think, notified to Child Protective Services if you didn't send your kids to government education or do, like, approved homeschooling curriculum. So that means that it's illegal to not teach them these things. Everything is a decision. You could disobey. Yeah, I mean, you could risk losing your children if you think it's worth that risk. I would argue since you're reading a book from a right nut, this is brainwashing. See? I don't know why you say he's a nut. Look at how many parents force their kids into religion from a very young age. That's very, very true. And how many parents tell their kids about the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, which I also have a problem with. All right, wait. We did this yesterday. We got sidetracked. We're going to keep going. The progressive interest in education. This is a quote from Isabel Patterson. Every politically controlled educational system will inculcate the doctrine, I don't like these words, okay. Inculcate the doctrine of state supremacy sooner or later, whether as the divine right of kings or the, quote, will of the people in, quote, democracy. Once that doctrine has been accepted, it becomes an almost superhuman task. Hey, Joey! Yes, Common Core brainwashes the children. Interesting. I don't know much about Common Core. I only know the math part. Okay. Once that doctrine has been accepted, it becomes an almost superhuman task to break the stranglehold of the political power over the life of the citizen. Everyone is brainwashed by whatever they believe in if they are taught at a young age. Right. So we're brainwashed into speaking English then, right? So brainwashing, I think, is also like, isn't it like a negative term for, I guess, yeah, it's indicating that you're not free. But it's like when you're born, it's not like you chose to be born or what to hear or learn. He's questioning democracy. Democracy is the most fair government system available. He does go on to talk, I think it's going to be not today, it's going to be like way later, about the tyranny of the majority, I think. I'm not sure. And if he doesn't, then we should just look it up and talk about it ourselves. Because I don't know much about that, but he used that term and I'd have to look at it. No, yeah, and I get kind of the whole republic, even the definition of a republic seems really vague to me. It's like, well, it's not like really a democracy, but it's like almost, but like it's not like we don't really pick who represents us. It's kind of like based on who they are, and I don't know. It's like, what does that even mean? Do we pick them or not? So even back in 1912, and I don't even know, maybe George Washington, I don't know about George Washington, I don't know, but at some point, whenever it started, way, way, way towards the beginning of America having presidents and having a government, Republic is a democracy with representatives because the country is too big to do direct democracy. But it's like, it's not all elected representatives. You know, there's people that are like chosen. What I was going to say is that they had, what did they call them? The political bosses or the party bosses, and they chose who the nominees were to an extent. You know, they got to delegate the delegates, just like super delegates. So it's like, is that really a republic or a democracy or what? We don't elect, electors do. Right. It's not black and white at all. You're right. Thank you. Yeah, it's not. It's not like an absolute. It's so, you can't just be like, this person was, and that's the other thing too. They had like this list of what the progressives believed in. And it was like, most of the things I was like, no, I think that's misguided. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Oh, I agree with that. Oh, nope, I think that's wrong. So it's like this whole political party system, it's confusing because it's like, well, how often do you believe with every single thing that defines a political party? Probably almost never. I mean, a few people. Categorically, it fits better as a republic, but on the ground, it's been proven to be an oligarchy. Yeah, we were talking about how it's an oligarchy yesterday, too. Never. Oh, crap, I already forgot what I asked. But it seems like never is the answer. Good. Probably. I don't know. Okay. I love when that happens. All right. I think right here. When viewed through the rosy lens of history, statewide compulsory education was a positive step forward in the progressive era. It was a way to get children out of dangerous factories and into safe and nurturing classrooms. The choice between child labor and public school is seemingly an easy one. However, the real story of the push for compulsory public education is much darker. It was actually rooted in anti-immigrant sentiment and was fueled by a desire to push the progressive agenda onto the youngest generation. One of the main goals of the progressive era reformers was to coax immigrant children, specifically Catholic children, out of their homes as early as possible so that they could be influenced by the state instead of by their parents. Although I'm pretty sure science still proves that your parents have the bigger influence on you, even though you spend like 8 hours a day in school. Because you're still spending more time around your parents, or you were still indoctrinated by your parents at an earlier stage, so you still kind of like deify them. Oh, we're reading Theodore and Woodrow, How Two American Presidents Destroyed Constitutional Freedom by Judge Napolitano. Welcoming discussion. If you agree or disagree, we have people from both sides, I think, here. Do the progressives believe protecting domestic workers and creating units? Dude? Okay. It is sad to see people changing their beliefs these days to fit their chosen candidate. Exactly. Let's. The anti-immigrant impetus, I don't know how to say that word. Impetus? Probably not. Impetus? I feel like there's a weird pronunciation. Somebody spell it out. Behind the anti-immigrant thing, behind the push for compulsory education, conforms with President Woodrow Wilson's outright and well-documented racism. Perfect. You're not really into political stuff? It's, it affects our lives. Impetus. So I was saying it right? Impetus. Am I saying that right? I still don't know. No. Das. I'm so confused. Faster? Faster what? Read faster? I'm so confused. Oh, God. All right. So he was racist, all right? We're going to talk about it, I guess. Wilson stated prior to taking office, impetus. Read the 2 pages at the same time. No, Chris, I can't do that. Wilson stated prior to taking office, quote, "Our problem is not merely to help the students to adjust themselves to world life, but to make them as unlike their fathers as we can." Impetus. That's how I would say it. Impetus. Why M and not im? Impetus. No. Yes. You guys disagree. You guys. A lot more people are saying yes. Impetus. All right. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Moving on. This thinking shows Wilson was an elitist and racist who looked down on anyone who did not share his progressive beliefs. He genuinely believed... It's really not, though. Thank you, Bravo. You're the best. He genuinely believed that the only way to fix the problem that immigrants presented was to brainwash their children in public schools. Theodore Roosevelt shared Wilson's anti-immigrant sentiment. He publicly complained about hyphenated Americans, such as Italian Americans and Irish Americans. He even went so far as to applaud the brutal murders of a group of Italian Americans in a prison in New Orleans in 1892, many of whom were in custody despite the fact that they had been exonerated of the crimes with which they'd been charged. Sounds like a great solution. Oh, brainwashing kids? Yeah. And Hillary Clinton applauded the murder of, who was it, Gaddafi? This is slander? Slander against Roosevelt? Is it slander if somebody's dead? Clinton is terrible. Yes. I think we can all agree there. Maybe. If you don't agree, tell us why not. So, Roosevelt actually called these mass lynchings a, quote, rather good thing, and bragged that he made this statement in front of a group of, quote, various Dago diplomats. Hillary Clinton. Dago. Define Dago. You're not even American. Oh, it's definitely less interesting if you're not American. That's an Italian, Spanish, or Portuguese-speaking person. Am I being racist by saying this over and over again? Oh my god. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Sorry. They're both terrible, but I was just wondering. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too, but I didn't want to get too sidetracked. What time is it? We're probably already late. Yeah, it's 9:30 right now. We're right on the button. Hello. So, let's see. Maybe we can finish this section. Let's just finish this section. I'm going to fly through it, and then I'm going to end the broadcast, okay? That's kind of what I was thinking, Rob Collins. I didn't know that. Theodore Roosevelt made me say it. So, moving on. What? Casper! Oh my god, 20,000? Okay, well tell me how many it is right before the end. I hope I don't forget. I'm not going to forget. We're going to do this. Okay. For Wilson and other progressives at this, I really have to go because I have a yoga class to teach soon. He got impeached? I didn't think he got impeached. Did he get impeached? Oh my god, you guys. Do I know nothing? All right. For Wilson and other progressives at this time, the idea behind compulsory education was not to provide children with a well-rounded education, but to make them wards of the state. The use of schools as a breeding ground for progressive thought continued from the late 1800s to the 1930s. In 1933, Max Mason, the president of the Rockefeller Foundation, outlined a plan to control human behavior that involved the school system. This plan would attempt to control human breeding by determining which people were fit to reproduce. Public schools were an ideal place to weed out students in order to create an elite class of people while relegating the rest to their rightful position in life. Woodrow Wilson stated in a speech to a group of businessmen prior to World War I, "We want one class of persons to have a liberal education, and we want another class of persons, a very much larger class of necessity in every society, to forego the privilege of a liberal education and fit themselves to perform specific, difficult manual tasks." Clearly, Wilson did not want compulsory education to give all children an equal opportunity. He genuinely believed 20,337. I'm going to call it 20,000. Thank you so much, Casper. You're so awesome. You have a great day, too. Thank you. You're the best. That's so awesome. Cyanide's going to be mad at you. You're going to have a new enemy, but you guys can be frenemies. Okay. So clearly, Wilson did not want compulsory education to give all children an equal opportunity. He genuinely believed that children could be divided into elite and non-elite classes, and that their roles in society could be predetermined based on their class. Louis Alber, an executive director of the National Education Association, announced in 1933 that his organization expected, quote, to accomplish by education what dictators in Europe are seeking to do by compulsion and force. But it is compulsion and force because it's a forced compulsory education. Schools were seen as places for the state to have greater control over the population and decide which students would be successful and productive members of a progressive society. Fortunately, in the wake of World War II, these types of plans, also advocated in Europe by Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini, became unpopular. Many ideas advocated by Roosevelt and Wilson were not far off from those of some European dictators of the time. Roosevelt and Wilson were just better at hiding their extremist views through bombastic, in the case of Roosevelt, and clever, in the case of Wilson, rhetoric, and through control over the press in both cases. No, I can't help but think that force, the implementation of force, or try to use more basic words, the start of force is the beginning of the end. I guess, basically is what I think. But I really do have to go because I have to get ready and I have to leave so I can go teach this yoga class. I have to leave in like 10 minutes. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I wish we could talk a little bit more. Let's talk more about that either later today if I come back on or tomorrow morning. All right, Huda F, why don't you do a broadcast and you guys can all continue this conversation while I go teach my grandma some yoga because she needs it because she's awesome and I love her and you guys are awesome and I love you. But it's 8:30 a.m. every morning, Rob Collins, so just get here a little earlier next time and then you can talk to me even more. We can connect even deeper and better. I'm going to follow you because I've seen you a bunch of times and I'm not following you. All right, awesome. Everybody have a great day. The trolls always come out right at the end. And this has been another Moment in Time with Taylor. Hope to see you back later.